to.
I don't lie.
She
You do
stole my
lie.
only
About
pictures
what?
of my
Well,
Name
crush on the
anything.
internet.
I'm not going to argue with you. We're going
Because
to
you can't. There's nothing I've lied about.
everything you've lied about.
Name one thing. Go ahead, I dare you. Name something.
So
No,
those
I'm
are the
not gonna
pictures
stand
in her
here and
hand, I
argue
think.
with you
Because
about it.
exactly.
Yes,
Because there's nothing to
stepmom or
say.
Oh, right.
Give me my
foster
pictures.
mom, maybe.
No.
Those are mine. They're the only thing I have to my real family.
When the court says you can leave here, I'll send you off with these. Until then, I will rip one up each time you misbehave with me.
That is so fucking evil. Do you hear what you're saying?
I do.
This is psychological abuse.
Oh, you're so smart.
Oh my God.
I
It's like,
think you'd figure that out.
What the hell is wrong with you?
You.
what the actual... There's a special place in hell for this goofball. She needs to go and... Okay, so we have emotional hostage taking of an artifact, which is when somebody holds something like it could be a story, but in this case, it's photos of her biological family. I'm getting foster parent here, or maybe they could... I don't know. I don't think they're biologically related, so it's not a grandparent. I'm gonna go guess foster mom or parent. So I'm just speechless. This person needs to get CPS called on them and needs to see a series of professionals to maybe help her, and if not, she needs to go somewhere else. I feel so bad for this child, I assume, here. So emotional hostage taking, she's holding the photos and she's attempting to dominate this child. It's like into a power struggle, into behaving meaning whatever the hell this lady probably thinks is. And she's using this instrumental aggression to, again, essentially blackmail her into behaving, meaning she'll rip a photo up, instrumental aggression from the hostage. This is just like she's hitting a home run in terms of the abusive parent here. So this identity attachment abuse of the child having the identity of her biological family there, her artifacts of those photos, and her identity in attachment to those photos is her only connection through which she has to her biological family, and it's essentially being dangled in front of her. And I'm also getting some gaslighting, I think, too. It is hard to tell. That said part 1, so there's probably more to the story here, but it sounds like there's some gaslighting, some deflection, the contempt the stepmom or the foster parent, whoever this is, I'm assuming here, has towards this child is just like palpable. And like it just like in professional world, it's not uncommon for a child to like make allegations against a foster step or biological parent to get attention and get help for another issue as sort of a conduit. This case, it's like flagrant abuse from this older woman to this younger person, and I am just like, I might do some digging and like I'm hoping this resolved in a way where she's in a better place, because this is like I need to take a shower after watching that. Kid records his abusive stepmom.
I'm gonna start cutting shit off. Get down here and get that grass cut right now.
I'm fixing to cut it. That's
Don't
not
you
what
ever ask a motherfucking hair to say thank you to you.
Whoa.
You ain't doing shit.
It's common. It's
What?
the principle.
The principal, my ass, your ass laying up in this motherfucker.
Why are you yelling at me? You act like first of all, I'm not disrespecting you, so don't disrespect me. I'm coming here nice. I'm being nice. You don't have to yell. You don't have to yell. You don't have to curse. You don't have to yell. You don't have to curse. You don't have to do none of that. You need to learn how to talk to people.
Get down here. I've been nice.
No, you haven't. You have not been nice.
That's some
Number
Cinderella
one. No, you
effect
have
going
not.
on here.
Marlena, get down here. Get down here and get out there.
I'm gonna cut your grass.
Get down here.
I mean, my father's grass. I'm sorry.
Oh, shots fired. Oh, that's so like in blended family situations when there's a parent and a step parent, biological parent and a step parent, and that kind of situation is going on. What happens is we have this role ambiguity in terms of how much authority does a step parent have to parent their non-biological child. If it's adopted, different situation. There's a lot of different kind of what ifs and situations here, but essentially, again, it's this role ambiguity. How much authority does she have to discipline the son here, or his her boyfriend's, I'm assuming, or husband's biological son. And there can be a lot of clashes here in terms of, kind of the biological factor is pretty big. So what happens is this step parents can have this authority inflation where they believe they have authority over this child because they are dating or married to that person's other parent. And what can go wrong? A lot. That's where you have kind of the Cinderella effect of when you have the kind of evil stepmother sort of using the children as a means of labor, and then ultimately what we have is this tick for tack. Although the kid stayed really calm, calmer than the adult did, which says something right there. To the lady is you have this kind of psychological reactance where people kind of get into this sort of power struggle and kind of tick for tack sort of situation. And really what it is here, and it's common in domestic violence, cases and work that I've done and seen and through the research, is you have what is known as this sort of, boiling it down, it's kind of demanding respect from somebody just because of your title or because of your education, because of how much money you make, because you're their step parent, versus earning their respect by doing the work and connecting with people through, meals, through having heart-to-heart conversations and spending time with them, doing something they want to do. So what the stepmom is doing is demanding respect from the child instead of doing the work to earn it. And it comes really off clear here. And hopefully, when the dad gets home, things calm down and maybe there's some work done. She needs some work done in terms of her own emotional stability and, boundaries. And again, not thinking she has more power than maybe she does over this child, because the child sure as hell doesn't think so. So
things you don't say to someone who's been in an abusive relationship.
this could be good.
Why did you let them treat you like that? See, I'm too smart to be in an abusive relationship. Like, I don't take shit from anyone. If it were me, I would have just left. Like, why didn't you leave? Like, that's so dumb of you.
Right
and
there.
I mean, if they didn't hit you, then, like, how was it abusive? I don't get it.
Yep.
Girl, stop complaining. We all have shitty exes. My ex picked his nose, and I'm over him. Abusive?
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. That's kind of a strong term. Plus, she's, like, really nice. Like, I don't see how she could be abusive. The actual problem is that you have bad taste. So this is, like, your fault somehow.
Okay, awkward Marina, good on you. I love this. So this is something that's so important. It's something I do when I train like social workers or health professionals, etc. Because any of those statements that she just shared can essentially put a victim into a spiral situation where they're being victim blamed, and that's kind of the common denominator for a lot of those. Is people blame victims. Why didn't you just leave? It's hard because when people are in a relationship and they're in a power deficit in this position where they really have, kids or money or, other resources kind of held from them, it's hard for them to kind of get out of that situation. Young children, access to phones, access to vehicles and transportation, etc. So there's victim blaming across the board when you were trying to point the finger at the victim, because it's easy just to blame the victim for not doing something than it is to kind of get into the psychological abuse dynamics of the abuser. So really what it is across the board, and I see it all the time, is this coercive control illiteracy, where people are unfamiliar with the dynamics of coercive control, because really it may culminate into being physical ultimately. That's what we see. It's easy to see that behavior, but really it's a sort of gradual process of control that somebody is exerting through emotional, financial, and other means. And a lot of people just don't understand that that is domestic violence, that is abuse. And then we have the hindsight bias in here as well, where people are, they're playing Monday morning quarterback, they're kind of analyzing things after the fact, why didn't you do this? And again, that's ignoring that, like, relationships don't start out as abusive. They're often in the honeymoon phase where, testosterone hormone levels in guys are higher, estrogen's higher, and they're in that sort of lovey-dovey state. But then when that wears off, it's more, relationships kind of are a business relationship or a contract where you have to have agreements on who's doing the laundry, who's taking care of the kids, who's doing X, Y, or Z. So the hindsight bias is just baked into that as well, especially when a third party, a friend, a family member is making commentary on it. And really kind of one other thing that is less sort of talked about in the internet that I've seen is this just world hypothesis, that good things happen to good people bad things happen to bad people. And that gets baked into here as well, where victims are sort of seen as, oh, you're in an abusive relationship because you chose a bad person and you deserve it. And that's just obviously it's a fallacy. It's a bad way to live and to think of other human beings that, because, hopefully you watching this don't think that's true, because it's just not. And that's all for today. Thank you for watching. And I'm curious in the comments, were there any of these terms or abuse dynamics you were maybe unfamiliar with, or maybe you've heard them in the past, but you saw it a different way in these examples today and how I talked about them? I'm curious kind of always where people are coming from when they come into this, domestic violence abuse world. I've been working in it for a while, and I'm always kind of curious which of these things are kind of known by everybody, which of these things are just really academic kind of jargon that's in a book, but that's about it. So I'm curious kind of where you're coming from on that. And of course, I invite you to subscribe and like the video and all that jazz as well. So thank you. Toodles.